Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ariston. I'm your host, Teresa Riley Stevens. In Richland Two, this time of year there's a lot of excitement about the district's expanded choice offerings and magnet programs, as well as excitement about the season of giving. Magnet programs and expanded choice options are the hallmark of Richland Two, and one could argue, so is our charitable giving. In the second half of the show, we will take you from Colombia all the way to Africa, where the work of Richland Two students and staff is touching many lives in Rwanda. First, in the studio to talk with us today about two new magnet programs are Center for Knowledge Principal, Dr. Jolene Hall, and Summit Parkway Middle School Principal, Mr. Andrew Barbone. Welcome.
Thank you.
Our Richland Two Board of Trustees recently approved the replication of the Center for Knowledge Magnet Program. CFK North is scheduled to open next school year on the Muller Road Middle School campus. Dr. Hall, what else can you tell us about that program?
We are very excited about the replication of CFK. It will be located in the Blythewood community and will be called CFK North. This will give us an opportunity to serve the people in the northern community. We are also excited that we'll have the opportunity to start with kindergarten through second grade. We have found through our own development at CFK that these grades are the easiest grades to start with because we're able to set the base of learning for these young children. Then each year we will add one grade level until we grow it into a K-5 learning community.
Now, CFK is clearly one of the district's most sought-after magnet programs on the elementary level. Can you tell us a comparison of the applications that you actually received last year compared to the available slots?
We received 367 applications last year, and we were able to seat 47 of those in CFK.
So clearly there is a need.
There is a
demand, so
yes,
there is a
there
need that we must meet. What's so popular about the program?
It's twofold. I think it's the small learning community. Families really like the ability to really get to know the faculty, and we get to know the families. It's also our curriculum. We use the National Core Knowledge curriculum. It's more of a classical approach. Lots of world history, American civilization, classical literature, and it's very inviting. It's very challenging for the students.
Who's eligible to apply?
All in Richland Two are eligible to apply.
The board has approved a STEM Institute of Design and Innovation Magnet program at Summit Parkway Middle School. The magnet focuses on science, technology, engineering, and math education. Mr. Barbone, would you please give us an overview of your program?
Sure. City is brand new, and like you said, it's the STEM Institute of Design and Innovation, and we wanted to basically paint on the fabric of sixth grade standards, a very hard and contrasted concentration on the science, the technology, the engineering, and math, but also really give kids a background in design and innovation. We'll start with our sixth grade, and we will build that up through the next 3 years, and it'll give the kids a chance to explore the subject matter that really is based on their interest. These students really, I would hope, would apply based on their interest in these type of things. Learning more about it, getting hands-on experiences, going out and seeing real-time jobs and occupations and careers, and finding out, is this what I want to do? Is this the type of work that I like? And getting a deeper understanding of what that might look like. So a lot of project-based learning. Really want to give kids that try, fail, succeed model. So when they come out, they will be open to a ton of different careers.
When you think STEM, I immediately think of high-paying jobs. So what kind of jobs would this program prepare students for?
The first thing I would say, it would prepare them for jobs that are available right now in our country that just aren't being filled. If you look at the news nationwide, in that discussion, even from the president on down, we see that there are a ton of these highly skilled jobs that really are not being able to be filled because people aren't having the avenues to go and focus on that. That being said, the jobs could go for anything from engineers, that could be civil engineers, chemical engineers, people that would be very much associated with design. They could, people that might want to be involved in, let's say, car manufacturing or anything of that nature. designing products for people. So it's really a wide berth of different careers, but they all have a similar skill set.
This seems like a program that would really benefit from great partnerships. Are you looking at any partnerships yet that can be developed?
Absolutely. The one that is the closest to becoming a partnership right now is actually with the Army. Aberdeen Proving Ground, which is in Maryland, they had their first STEM Expo this November, where that's the R&D center pretty much for the military, where they do a lot of their research and their design for the new things that they're going to roll out, to the military. So to get kids to understand really how this applies, and I think that'll be a really neat thing. But also looking at University of South Carolina, of course, local universities. Innovista might be one, things of that nature. BMW, of course. This year we're taking a field study with just some students down to Boeing. So, all those different type of occupations, hopefully we can partner with them.
Who's eligible for your program?
Again, it's every student in Richland Two. We do have some eligibility type of things that we go through. One is that they're basic and above, on their standardized testing, and we will do an interview process so we can get to know the whole student. We're going to look at teacher recommendations, grades, test scores, all those kind of things, but truly looking at the whole student and what student will grow in the soil that we're building at City.
We have 2 elementary schools that offer STEM programs, Forest Lake Elementary and North Springs Elementary. Will you be particularly looking for students who have participated in those programs to participate in yours?
We're looking at all rising 6th graders in the whole district. I think it's really important that people understand that City is a magnet for students that look differently. And that can mean they look differently with their interests, their academics, things like that. It's not going to be an all-honors magnet. It won't be a magnet only for those 2 schools, but we're looking across the board because I really feel like there's going to be a lot of interest from all rising 6th graders across the district.
Once students complete your program, what's next for them?
That again is going to be interest-based. I think one of the things we'll push for 3 years is, for example, when I was coming through high school and college, it was a deep-seated belief for me that I wanted to be a teacher. That was my interest. So I explored different opportunities that way. As students come through, they're going to be checking boxes of maybe, wow, the chemistry piece really resonates with me, so how can I fit chemistry and the STEM education into maybe opportunities at the high school and then farther than that. One of the things we'll do with 8th grade is really look at career paths and bridging that gap from middle school to high school.
In November, hundreds of students and parents attended the Choice and Magnet Fair held at Richland Northeast High School. Participants were able to get answers to their questions about all of the options available. If you were not able to attend the Choice and Magnet Fair, visit the district's website for more information on each individual offering. Informational sessions on all magnet programs are being held throughout January. Here are some need-to-know facts about Expanded Choice. Expanded Choice offers parents and students residing in Richland Two the opportunity to apply to attend a school other than their residentially assigned school. Choice is only available to Richland Two students. Each school open for choice is allowed 20 transfer slots through the process. The 20 slots may increase based on the number of students leaving that school through the choice program. Available slots for magnet programs may vary based on each program. Parents must provide transportation for students who choose programs that are not at their residentially assigned school. Applications will only be accepted online. The application process begins January 7th and runs through January 31st. All applications must be received by 5 p.m. on January 31st. In March, parents and students will be able to log back into their application account to see whether students have been accepted into the program of their choice. Dr. Hall, is there anything else that you would like to add about your program?
We are just so excited to be able to offer this expansion to the Northeast community. We will have an orientation coming up in January that will be listed on the Richland Two website, and we'll offer visitations at the Center for Knowledge for folks that are interested.
Okay. Mr. Barbone, do you have anything else additional?
Sure. Our orientation for both magnets, we have two magnets at Summit, our Get Fit magnet and City, will be January 29th. If you would like a tour before then, we've asked parents to go ahead and give a call to the school, and we can arrange that in groups. But also, I would ask people if they're even interested in some of the things I said today to come out on the 29th and learn some more.
Okay, thank you both for joining us. For additional information on magnet programs, please contact Director of Academic Initiatives, Dawn McLeod, and for expanded choice questions, contact District Registrar, Roger Wiley. Thank you for joining us on this first half of Ariston. Coming up next, we head to Rwanda, where good things are happening because of the generosity of our students, staff, and community.
You can make a difference. If you see bullying or are being bullied, call the Safe School line. Make the right choice and help put a stop to bullying.
Welcome back. There is an incredible global service learning project that is underway in Richland Two and is benefiting the people of Rwanda. Here to tell us about coffee, the Carolina Organization for Fueling Education Equality, are Spring Valley High School student Kaylee Charles and Center for Inquiry teacher Suzanne Pender. Kaylee, first, I really want to thank you for all the work that you have put into this project, and it is some outstanding work, unquestionably. Can you tell us what coffee is all about and how did it start?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I went to a literacy conference and got the idea to start this service learning group because I had always been interested in service learning ever since I went to CFI. And they have so many traditions, like the passing of the cans, which is when, we bring in cans for Harvest Hope and then just have a big ceremony about it. And so I wanted to start a community service learning group that didn't involve just schools, but everybody, so we could promote and improve educational equality worldwide, especially with students with physical or learning or environmental disabilities or obstacles to overcome, which you see not only locally but globally too. And so that's why we're really interested in Rwanda, because there's such a need for an educational reform there. And so we've helped out with the Special Olympics, and we've done tutoring, and of course Rwanda. So that was pretty much it. And I read Half the Sky last year, which is this great book, but it's a really tough read. I was assigned it by one of my teachers, and it really just opened my eyes to all the different possibilities of things that I could do to help change things around the world and all the need that there is. So it was kind of just everything flowed together nicely.
How did you learn about Nancy Strachan's humanitarian efforts?
My mom actually went with her to Rwanda a few years ago, and they met a survivor of the Rwandan genocide, Immaculée Ilibagiza, and they went with actually a teacher from CFI, Tim O'Keefe, and Nancy's such a great person. She's the kind of person you love because there's nothing that you can dislike about her. And she came back from Rwanda with the trip after seeing all of the hard things there, but also all of the great things that this country has to offer, and was inspired to create her own nonprofit called Rwandan Hugs that we use now to really get our stuff over to Rwanda because we have that personal connection. And she is the one who can document all the things because she goes annually. And so it's really wonderful to have someone who can kind of be your messenger and really show you one-on-one and personally like how the people there are affected by what we do here.
Well, she visited several of our schools here in Richland Two. What kind of message did she bring to us, Ms. Pender, and how did our students react and respond to it?
It was amazing. We'd heard some of the stories from Mr. O'Keefe with his adventure there, but when Ms. Strachan came, her message was of hope, of forgiveness, of reconciliation. And so she began with telling a little bit about the historical events of Rwanda, but then very quickly went into the story of the people and the powerful lives that they're leading right now after going through such tragedy, coming out the other side with forgiveness and hope and working together with the same people that terrorized them at one point, rebuilding their country together. And so sometimes when we approach service learning projects, we tend or are tempted to take the aspect of becoming the rescuer in there. In this case, the way Ms. Strachan presented all the information, we wanted to help support what was already happening. We recognized that there were really great things going on, and we wanted to do our part to make a difference as well. So one of the things that she came up with, or the phrase that we learned from Nancy, was a hand out, not a hand up. Excuse me, a hand up, not a handout. Excuse me about that. And so that became a touchstone for us throughout our activities, and the kids decided they wanted to use their hands and their talents to find a way to raise funds to buy goats for the family of the villages. And so they came up with the idea of, let's do a garage sale type thing, or something where we can approach the community, create handmade items, including bead necklaces or tetrahedron kites, things they were learning in class. They were inspired by the women of Rwanda with the basket making skills, so they made coil clay baskets. But then they went further and took their talents involved of gymnastics, or playing the violin, or even teaching a child how to hit a soccer or kick a soccer ball for a goal. And Clemson Extension was kind enough to donate a booth at the yard sale, annual yard sale. And so we really reached the community by getting together on a Saturday and going out there and asking for donations for all of these items rather than a price. But the wonderful thing was the kids talking with the community members and able to express their understanding of what was happening and providing education for themselves as well as for other people in the community. Other classes were involved as well, with Mr. O'Keefe's class composing original music, recording a CD, and then selling it to family, friends, and community members at Sparkleberry Fair. Other classes raised change by doing things at home or lemonade stands. So in all, I think we were able to buy 26 goats, if I'm
36.
36 goats. So it was a real celebration. One of my favorite parts was when the kids came back together at the beginning of this year and saw the video of the families receiving the goats and seeing the t-shirts that we provided for them and such, and the shoes and all. And it really made a difference that what they did had an impact on these families over time. So it was a great example of social action, but also a true inquiry as to the sustainability of what they're doing, to help providing something that helps those people become more self-sufficient over time, and fostering the gift of giving over a long period of time, and how it continues, like the ripple effect with the goats will continue as new goats are born. Other family members and other villagers will profit from that as well.
Now, explain the significance of the goats, because somebody might be saying, why goats?
You want to talk about that?
Sure. The goats are really special in the way that they have such a lasting effect there, which is also one of the big things that Nancy pushes for whenever she does any aid work, without anywhere in the entire world. That, you know, she goes over there and she doesn't give them shirts to sell or dresses to sell. She gives them sewing machines, you know, so they can learn how to sew and keep making profits for their families. And so with the goats, it's the same kind of thing, that the goats can not only provide milk for the children who are really malnourished and need, you know, nutrients, but they can also provide things like manure for the farm so they can grow crops. And then when the goats have babies, they can sell the goats, which in one of the videos we have one woman saying that she was able to sell the goats' offspring to pay for all of her children's school fees, which is one of the things that it's just kind of, it all comes back together, and it shows that, you know, when you give them the opportunity to succeed, they totally will. It's not like they're gonna, you know, just keep the money for themselves. They want their children to do better than they had done in the past too. So it was just, it's just a lasting effect.
What were some other things that you were able to provide for the people in Rwanda?
We worked with 4 schools in the district. We worked with CFI, of course, and then the ACE Academy at Lonnie B, and Keels Elementary and Spring Valley High School. And we were able to raise over $2,500 to buy 36 goats, 235 pairs of shoes, which was so generously matched by a community member. So every single child at the Kidwa school was able to receive a pair of shoes, since they can't attend school without it, and most of them didn't have a pair. And we were also able to get a Kindle reader for them with 27 ebooks on it that they can all read off of and teachers can use. And not to mention the hundreds of letters that were written by students to other students there, so they have pen pals. And even students wrote letters for the families in the reconciliation villages receiving goats about how to care for them. And one of my favorite things was in one of the letters, a child wrote, "Don't let your goat eat this letter." You know, it was just, it's cute stuff that the kids really are enthusiastic about it and love it just as much as I do. And we also, like you said, we were able to send t-shirts from every school that participated, and the t-shirts went to the top student in each subject area, which they were so proud about. They loved having a part of the U.S. there that they could wear every day and show off, which was nice.
Well, some video airing on R2 TV now shows the joy the people in this village are feeling. Unquestionably, they are very, very appreciative of what you have done, Kaylee, you and the other students and the community. Here's a closer look at some of that video.
Rwanda, Rwanda, yeah, yeah. Rwanda, Rwanda. They said many are called, a few were chosen, but I wish some wasn't chosen for the blood spilling of Rwanda. Yeah. They said me shocking up and they go. Thrown in the fire, but you never get burned. But I wish some didn't get burned in Rwanda. Yeah. They said the man is judged according to his works. So tell me, Africa, what's your worth? There's no money, no diamonds, no fortunes on this planet that can replace Rwanda, Rwanda, Rwanda. Yeah. These are the cries of the children. Yeah. Anybody hear my cry from America? It's the United States of America. Then why can't Africa be the United States of Africa? Rwanda, Rwanda. And if England is the United Kingdom, then why can't Africa unite all the kingdoms and become the United Kingdom of Africa? Rwanda, 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 Rwanda. Yeah. These are the cries of the children. Yeah. Can anybody out there hear our cries? Yeah. Heaven's cry. Jesus Christ. Can
gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand, that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
What's next for this project?
Well, we definitely want to follow up with Kidwa, and the principal from the school has even written us letters back saying that they're so appreciative of the Kindle and how thankful they are for it and how much they love it and are using it. But the hard thing is, with over 500 students and only one Kindle with 27 books, it's hard to get everybody to read it or listen all at the same time. And so we want to really expand what we did last year, and knowing what we know now about how they use the things that we're able to provide. We want to send more Kindles. We want to hopefully get 5 or 6 more Kindles sent over there with tons of books on them, so kids can partner up and read stuff, and different grade levels can read to their classes. And not only now do we want to send goats, because we did that so much last year, but the school also really wants a cow, because the cows give off so much more milk than a goat does, and they can, same use as the goats with the, offspring being sold and all, but that just to help treat these malnourished kids that are really hungry, and help keep them in school, because it always pulls them back in whenever there's, food there or nourishment that they can't get from other places. So we're focusing on a cows and Kindles for Kidwa kind of project. And we've already raised $250 from donations over the summer. And Nancy was able to bring back, last time she went to Africa, fabric and sea glass beads for students to make into scarves and jewelry to sell at market days at Lonnie B. Nelson. And so they've already started on that, and it's really great so far, like what I've seen of it. And they're all really excited about what they're doing. And even the teacher, the PE teacher at Lonnie B, she runs, and so she was interested in having someone sponsor her to do a run for Rwanda, and having, for every mile that she runs in a half marathon, someone gives a certain amount of money. So, and she was even interested in having the kids do that. If they did a 5K or a 1 mile kind of fun run, that they could do that too. So that's kind of what we're hoping for with this next project.
Wow, it sounds like a project that will continue for years and years and years in Richland Two.
I hope so.
Thank you so much for all that you've done. Is there anything else that you would like to add? I'll start with you, Ms. Pender.
It was just such a powerful expression of how the kids can take ownership and feel a sense of empowerment themselves and become mentor for other kids as well, and show how they have a responsibility as a member of the global community, whether it's a small thing or a larger thing, working together.
And as far as coffee goes, we really hope to just get more Richland Two schools involved. We want, to have people not only in the schools too, but outside of the district in the community, because every person can do their little bit of good, and it all just adds up to an overwhelming change. And so we want to really just promote more educational equality throughout the entire world.
How can people reach you?
We have a blog and a Facebook page, and you can email us whenever. Just give us any kind of message if you're interested. And even just talking about it in the schools, coming up with your idea and then telling your principal, and your principal can even contact other principals and us. So we have an email, which is coffeeclub.hpa@gmail.com if you want to email us if you're interested in helping. And so we really hope that everybody does.
Okay, it's definitely a worthwhile project for everyone to get involved in. And thank you both again for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
In Richland Two, your input and feedback are always welcome. If you have any suggestions, comments, or show ideas, please give us a call at 738-3232. Ariston, the best of the best. Richland Two is Ariston.